Welcome to Movie Asylum, and today we're gonna be reviewing the horror film Martyrs, the film that makes Saul look like Sesame Street. Martyrs is a 2008 French-Canadian drama horror film written and directed by Pascal Laugier and starring Morjana Alaoui and Mylène Jampanoï. The film is about a young woman's quest for revenge against the people who kidnapped and tormented her as a child, leading her and a friend, who is also a victim of child abuse, on a terrifying journey into a living hell of deviance. It was first screened during the 2008 Cannes Film Festival at the Martyrs film, and the film's French release was on September 3rd, 2008. The American rights for the film were purchased by the Weinstein Company, and the company was responsible for the release of the DVD in April 2009. The film received polarizing reviews from critics and has been associated with the new French extremity movement. The film was categorized as a new example of new era French horror films akin to insight with regards to the level of violence it represents. If you're a horror fan and haven't seen the film yet, I can tell you that it's one sick ass twisted film. The film is based on gruesome tortures, and almost every scene in this movie is one torture after another. In my opinion, it's just one great movie for those who are a huge horror fan. So let's go ahead right now and take a look at the trailer for those of you who hasn't seen the movie yet and what to expect.
C'est eux, Anna. T'as pu les voir? Ils ont changé, mais c'est eux.
Great trailer. Martyrs is an uncomfortable, disturbing, humorless, and mean-spirited. It is also completely acted and eventually shot, with a tight script, and has probably some of the most realistic displays of violence and its effects ever seen on film. It isn't an enjoyable movie, but at the same time, it is a movie not to be missed. And for once, it is a movie that is deserving of the title Video Nasty. It's also a work of pure art masquerading as a horror film. That it works completely as both an art house study of the human state and as a hyper-violent and often terrifying horror film are just two of its many, many wonders. It's a horror film, a story of redemption through suffering, an analyzing of the religious extremists, a look at the after effects of child abuse, a journey into guilt. It draws the viewer in from frame one and pulls you kicking and screaming into the darkness, and it never stops to see how you're holding up, nor does it care. If you're new to this film, be sure to go in blind. The less you know, the more powerful and shocking the main twists and turns are. It was the most creepiest, gruesome film since Frontiers. It had great performance. It was intense. And the ending was the most horrific thing I've ever seen. It wasn't scary, but it was very graphic on how people can be. So evil it delivered what it was going for. It was also brutal, grisly, and surprisingly compelling. Martyrs' graphic violence and strong emotional depth are quite rare for a torture horror of its kind. It makes Saw look like a kid's movie in comparison. Overall, it was a fantastic movie. I would give it a 10 out of 10. It dealt with several different issues with well developed characters, a great storyline, great acting, and really intense atmosphere. If you are the kind that likes the psychological forms of torture and ill treatment films, this will be a treat for you because it will satisfy your twisted mind. Although not all psychological torture involves the use of physical violence, but there is a continuum between psychological torture and physical torture. As a result of her selfless actions of helping losing Sarah, Anna becomes the group's latest subject. After a period of being beaten and degraded, Anna hallucinates a conversation with Lucy, and is later told she has progressed further than any other test subject and has reached the final stage. The final stage will have to wait until you have seen the movie to understand what the concept of the final stage is all about and to understand the meanings of the torture. Well, thank you for watching. And let me know in the comments down below what was your reaction to the movie. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep updated with everything I do here. And I will see you next time with more movie reviews and movie reactions.